Greetings, everyone. This is Confessions of a Candidate, exclusively shown by WTX News, and it gives a rundown of what's been happening with myself, Yvonne Ridley. I'm a candidate for Newcastle Central and West. Now then, he who should be obeyed but rarely is, has told me I look ridiculous with false eyelashes. He said I'm looking more Geordie Shaw than Newcastle Central and West candidate. And he said, for goodness sake, take them off. Well, I've thought about it and, oh gosh, I'm going to do it. Live on TV. Well, recorded. And there, they've gone. Is he right? He just said I looked a bit mad every time I batted my eyelids. And he's a good sort. He wouldn't give me a false steer. But it's tough, isn't it, knowing who to take advice from these days. He obviously has a vested interest. He doesn't want his wife going out looking, as I say, more Geordie Shaw than Westminster candidate. So, yeah, there are millions of voters undecided. So millions of voters undecided, but the issue is still Gaza. And I've just been watching a report on the good people of Bristol, who are still furious, as we all should be, about the genocide unfolding in Gaza today. Anyway, so the good people of Bristol are going crazy, and Gaza is still very much the issue. When I walked around the West End in Newcastle a couple of days ago, and people are just totally crushed and broken and just want a ceasefire, which my political rival refused to vote for last November. And now look where we are, 200,000 dead. That might seem like a new figure to you, but it's one that the media, the mainstream media, aren't reporting because they want official figures. How the hell can you get official figures in a country that has been bombed to hell? They have no council officers, they have no administrative authority, they've got nothing. What don't you understand about nothing? No schools, no hospitals, everything has been bombed. For goodness sake, there's a genocide going on and it is an election issue. And for the first time in British politics, the Muslim community has got together with TMV, an organisation called the Muslim Vote, and they've said, right, we are going to get rid of the two-party system, which is no bad thing. And so TMV want us to punish Labour, don't allow Starmer into number 10 Downing Street. Why? Because he thinks it's okay to use famine as a weapon, to deny water to a people, and to switch off power. All of these are war crimes, and this former director of public prosecutions has chosen to ignore that. He knows it's a war crime, but he's in the pay and the sway of the Israeli lobby. They are his masters, not you, not me, and so he needs to learn a lesson. He needs to discover that it isn't his turn to be in power. Nor is it Labour's, nor is it the Tories' turn to be in power. We need rid of them as well, with their inhumane, insane Rwanda scheme, which isn't going to work, by the way, has absolutely no chance of working, and the boats are still coming over the channel. So yes, this election is crucial, probably the most important one in your lifetime, without exaggeration. So I would say follow your conscience, think of the people in Gaza, think, what can I do to help? What you can do to help is make sure you do not vote Tory, you do not vote Labour, but do vote for independent candidates like me. Now then, that's simple enough. And if everybody voted for their independent candidate, Labour and Tory would get a trouncing at the ballot box. But guess what? Some guys have already put a spanner in the works. It beggars belief. But not only does some areas have many independent candidates, they've just completely confused the system. You have Labour, you've got Tory, you've got Greens and Lib Dems and independents. You only need one independent per constituency, and yet there are those intent on putting a spoke in the wheel, and I have no idea why. I really have no idea why. In Newcastle, in my area, I announced that I was standing as an independent candidate. I did that way back at the beginning of the year. Stood up in Newcastle Civic Centre and gave notice to everybody how upset I was over Gaza and how that had prompted me to stand and be a candidate for them. But also, you know, this is my city as well, and I want to do the best that I can in terms of health, education, transport, disability, justice. You know, I want to fight for all those things. Gaza is not the sole issue in Newcastle. So there are many other things that I want to fight for. And I've assembled an amazing team of Geordies, absolutely fantastic. And then 2 days before the cut-off date for candidates, we find out that somebody is saying, oh, I want to stand as an independent. And it's like, oh my goodness. And I'm not the only candidate that has had this. There are other candidates, independent candidates, good people who've stood with good, solid intentions, only to have their intentions thwarted by somebody who suddenly decided, hey, I'm going to stand as an independent. It won't work. You only need one independent candidate, not two. Two candidates will split the vote and allow our political rival to saunter through and get re-elected and vote for more illegal wars and never-ending wars and bombs, not bans. So to the original independent candidates, good on you, good luck, and may the best person win. And to those candidates who've suddenly found that they're having to fight another independent candidate, pick up the phone, talk to the person, and try and dissuade them and try and get them to stand down. Because the last thing that we want is for communities to be at loggerheads with each other. These people are causing fitna and they've got to stop. So I'm hoping that, you know, tomorrow is the deadline at 4 o'clock. That's it. It's the cut-off time for people to withdraw their candidacies or submit them. Please, if you are the second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever, independent, stop it now. See the insanity of what you're doing and stop and withdraw your candidacy and let the real independent move forwards. That's what I'm hoping is going to happen in Newcastle, that common sense will prevail and that I will eventually be the only independent candidate, so that we can get a good run at defeating the Labour MP. She thinks Newcastle Central and West is a safe seat. Let me tell you, darling, there is no such thing as a safe seat in this election. On that note, I'll speak to you soon, hopefully with more upbeat news about this amazing general election we're about to go through. So this is the end of Confessions of a Candidate for now. See you all soon.